Cheli, your life has never been the same since you discovered Rafael Nicolas.
Yeah. I remember that day. I don't remember what day it was, but it was during a break from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having it in my TBR, Angels Before a Man by Rafael Nicolas. And then one day I was like, I'm just going to read like the first chapter. And that's it. And I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I read that whole book.
Which is so dense.
It's so dense, but I was so into it. I don't think I had talked about it with you until a little while later where I was like, we should add this to our...
Well, you were really into it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, I just want someone to talk to about it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, let's make an episode on it then.
How did you feel about it? The first book.
I loved it. I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just based on like what it's about.
That's what I was nervous about because you had told me that you don't like feeling sad when you read.
I don't like books with sad endings, so I really don't like tragedies. Because I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
There's enough tragedies around me. I don't need to fucking read about them.
But I just think it's so interesting because like the first book is a queer retelling of Lucifer falling and he references Paradise Lost. Is that what it's called?
Lost.
By John Milton a lot in that book. And it's just, I think the way he writes is just so like poetically pleasing. So I fucking love the book so much, and I didn't think it could get better. But then last year, 2024, Angels and Man came out
and rocked your world.
I bought that book because I bought the physical copy when it came out.
Pre-ordered it.
I pre-ordered it at the laundromat. I remember.
I love that.
I remember that shit because the fucking washer that I had was like the one where I was like, wow, it's in the corner and no one picked it. Gosh, I'm so lucky. That washer could have killed me.
Really?
That was such a scary washer. So I was over here, my washer the loudest in the entire laundromat, and I'm like crying like, yes, king. And that book personally is my book of the year.
Yeah.
It was so good.
For last year.
Yeah, for 2024. And it's funny because 2023 was Angels Before Man.
Yeah.
So I've just been on this angel train. I don't even know what to say about that book. I thought it was just so well executed. I know there were some people that had issues with it. I do constantly think about what you said.
Thank you. You think about me? Oh my God.
I always think about you.
Don't make it weird.
That one comment that you said where it was a little weird that when it came to deception, they always talked about women.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yeah.
Or that they would think about the demons as the female pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like,
No, I get what you mean. I hope someone out there hears that and explains it to us. Because I want to know why if that was like a choice.
Yeah.
But I thought that book was very well done. I love my boy Sammy. I love him so much with my whole heart. And I love Azazel so much.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the second one?
I really liked it too. I did have a couple issues with it. I don't even remember them that much besides the calling them she, her.
Yeah. And
I think that we were both kind of shocked at how much it didn't surround Lucifer's journey anymore, in the second one at least. But I did really like Azazel's and Sammy's journey. But like getting to the end of it, I was like, this is so fucking sad. But I did really like it too.
Do you feel like not knowing about Lucifer's journey was something from this novella? Did it fill that for you? Or are you still kind of a little bummed that you missed a little bit of Lucifer's?
It's more so I would have liked to see it in like his perspective, I guess.
I think so too, because there's a lot of things that Lucifer will say that I don't feel like he means.
Yeah, or there's certain lines where I'm like, I don't understand why he's acting like this. Or maybe we're not meant to understand him, but...
Can I say that there was a Q&A that Rafael Nicolas did, and it was surrounding, by the way, hella spoilers. Did we even start our episode?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Hi.
No, but well, first of all, talking about angels once again, and a little bit of tears. Do you think that can fix your life?
Yes.
Welcome to the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast that fixes lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I wanted to start off by saying there was a Q&A.
There's going to be spoilers in this episode.
Yes. And this specifically, what I'm about to say, is a spoiler for book 2. So if you haven't read these books, go read them because they're really, really good. But also go watch our episodes because we're really funny.
We were going through it.
Yeah, we were. I always rewatch our second one.
Yeah,
I think it's so funny.
That one was good.
There is an interview where they ask Rafael Nicolas about the baby that Azazel has.
Mm-hmm.
Because do you remember how when the baby passes, there's a moment where both Michael and Lucifer see the baby,
mm-hmm.
and then they get rid of it. And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Apparently, that affected Lucifer a lot.
Getting rid of the baby? Or
Yeah.
the baby
Both.
not making
like
it?
the baby not making it, the baby being able to be born, and the fact that the baby's no more.
Oh, okay.
And it makes me sad that that wasn't written in more, because I feel like through Lucifer's perspective, I wish I could understand why he feels like that but never shows it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was one line in this that kind of helped me understand, but then I'm just kind of like, it's not enough.
Yeah. I think we needed more.
So we are going to be talking about Horns for Hell, which is a 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
This takes place right after, well, a lot of time passes, but it takes place after all of the angels from book 1 have fallen and become demons.
Mm-hmm.
And this specifically follows Rosier. Is it Rosier or Rosier?
I thought it was Rosier.
That's how I say it. Okay. It follows Rosier, who was the angel of fruit, but because of Asmodeus at the end of book 1 trying to have sex with Rosier, they were both like lost God's graces and were
Cast it out.
Yep. So how does it start?
Give me a second. It's very okay there.
I like the cover a lot.
Yeah, me too. It started with the Song of Songs. Then my beloved spoke and said to me, "Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. See, the winter's past, the rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The season of singing has come. The cooing of doves is heard in our land. The fig tree forms its early fruit. The blossoming vines spread their fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me." So I don't really know what it's trying to tell me, but it felt very hopeful to me. I was like, wait,
That's
the
why-
vibes are different.
Wait, is this one gonna actually be happy? Which is funny because, like, even from book 2, you could tell that whatever Asmodeus and Rosier had with each other didn't really feel healthy.
No, it didn't.
You know? So for that to be so happy, it just felt very out of place. And starting off, Rosier is very, even in the second book, you can see he's not a demon. Like, he doesn't act like the rest of them.
He doesn't even really look like the rest of them either.
Mhm.
They all have horns and he hasn't put any horns on.
Yep. And he's very disgusted with the idea of creating things.
But I thought it was so fascinating how it started the story, though, because it was like Rosier was shocked that he created something. He was like, he was thinking to himself, oh, was this how God created? Like, was it just by accident? Or was it intentional?
But then he starts to view it like, oh no, this isn't creation. This is disembodiment. And I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I do remember at the end of book 1, when he left heaven, he was carrying Asmodeus's head.
Yeah.
And I assumed in the first book that Asmodeus was dead. Like, I didn't think there was anything more than that.
Well, I'm still kind of confused. I don't know. Can angels die? I still don't really know.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just like eternal suffering. Like you could get to a point where you won't function anymore, but you'll still feel. So, because it explained, I'm going to skip around a bit. Yeah. It explained Asmodeus's head to like look at people and like grunt.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry guys. I like turned it around.
That?
Sorry, let me just put a little towel over that. That's fucking crazy.
But why did Rosier just carry the head around?
Because I think Rosier struggles with moving on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too.
Yeah, he hurt me, but he's my friend. So of course, I imagined it like a keychain. You know those people that have, you know those people, all of my Theos, that still have that phone like clasp thing where it's like an outside, you don't put it in your pocket, you just stick it there.
Yeah.
So people can see you have a phone. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. I felt like he was just always there, and Rosier would be talking to Lucifer, and Lucifer's like, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Because even Lucifer didn't really want him.
No,
around.
Lucifer wanted Rosier to get rid of Asmodeus. He was kind of just like, just move on already.
Just cast him away. You don't need him.
But just going back to when they first fell from heaven, Lucifer was dead, no? Or he wasn't like functioning?
No, he wasn't. So they had explained it that he was like covered in red. Mm-hmm. And from what I assumed, I thought that he burnt coming down and that it was all flesh.
Yeah.
So all of the angels that had fallen as well before they became demons cried on him, and their tears healed him back to like his former beauty. Mm-hmm. But then they got gross.
Then they got weird. Like they started to treat him like godlike, I guess. So they would like kiss him and be inappropriate with him. Yeah. And Rosier took his body and tried to hide it.
Yep. I thought it was interesting that out of all of them, Ball, is that his name?
Yeah.
Was also one of the ones that was starting to get weird, and Rosier was like, you're not going to see him right now. No one's going to see him right now. He's just going to stick with me and Asmodeus.
Asmodeus on the other side.
I know. So Rosier would just sleep with both of them and care for both of them. And I feel like that's just the type of person Rosier is, to just always take care of someone.
It's almost like he needs to. He needs to care for something.
That really sucks.
Yeah. So then eventually, I think it was Ball who brought it up to Rosier. Hey, why don't you just like stitch Asmodeus back up? Or maybe he like witnessed the demons, like because I think they lost limbs. Mm-hmm. So they stitched up like animal parts to themselves.
I think it was Lucifer after he had woken up and had given that idea to the people. That's when Ball talked to Rosier. And Rosier was disgusted by that because he didn't, with like the naivety that he has of an angel, he still considered dead things to feel. Mm-hmm. So he couldn't fathom like killing something and dismembering it. Yeah. But he was getting to a point where he really wanted Asmodeus back. So I think there was like, they had brought a lot of animal carcasses.
Ball did, yeah.
Yeah, to his home. And he explained it where it would take days for him to sew a body together to the point where the body parts that they had given him would start to rot. But he would still stitch with it. And then when he would put Asmodeus back together, because the body wasn't compatible with his, Asmodeus would just scream for like release and to be killed.
Yeah. It's kind of sad how much Asmodeus was in pain.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of messed up, but I don't feel that bad for Asmodeus.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel for him in certain senses because I feel like what he had felt for Rosier was real once.
Yeah, once upon a time. Mm-hmm. I guess I should explain a little bit better. I guess I feel bad for Rosier, that Rosier feels bad about Asmodeus because Asmodeus is like constantly in pain. Mm-hmm. Even once he's able to like move around, like it's just kind of like his joints ache. Yep. But Asmodeus as a character, I remember like halfway through this, I was like, Rosier, we don't even like this guy. We don't like this guy.
Give me 2 seconds with Rosier. I could talk some sense into that bitch. Because to me, I still thought of like the Asmodeus from book 1. And even the Asmodeus in book 2 didn't seem that bad.
Yeah.
But I guess I had forgotten how bad it was in book 1.
Because in book 1, I did not reread it or look at our episode or anything. But didn't Asmodeus take advantage of him?
Yes. But it didn't show everything. It just, the way that it had worded it was that Asmodeus came home super excited, like, oh my gosh, I need to show you something. And Rosier was like, what are you doing? And out of fear and trying to defend himself, he did that. And I thought it was interesting in this book, Rosier seems to like forget that it happened like that. So there are some times where he's like, no, I remember telling him to stop and he didn't do that. And then other times he's like, no, I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him.
But it just sucks because before that, Asmodeus and Rosier were like best friends. Because Asmodeus was known as the angel of friendship because he was so nice to everyone.
Which is crazy to think about.
Because now he's like the exact opposite.
Well, I mean, he's fucking everyone.
He's friendly.
But there's no like love there or respect there.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Because like this book basically follows Rosier having to deal with being a demon. And one of the things he has to deal with is that he saved Asmodeus. But because he saved Asmodeus and had to put him back together, he had to basically be his caretaker until Asmodeus was at a point where he can take care of himself. But now it's kind of like, you were into me though, Asmodeus. So are we a thing?
And then it started to feel weird because Rosier kind of felt like, okay, I healed you up, but we're not together. Like you come back in the middle of the night smelling like somebody else and we cuddle and it's just kind of like in this weird position.
And then it's very much like the entire time that Asmodeus isn't there, Rosier's like, I fucking hate that bitch. I hate him and I don't forgive him. Maybe that's God. Because there was one point where he started thinking like, you're so disgusting. But he was like, oh no, that's God thinking of it. I was like, no, that's you. That's you.
That's you.
But then as soon as Asmodeus comes home and as soon as they kiss, and they kiss on the lips, he feels fine. Like he feels like everything's good. It's just in those moments when he knows that Asmodeus is having sex with other demons or just isn't there, he feels very...
And it was so awkward the amount of times that a demon would be like, Asmodeus, I heard about the other night. Damn, I need to get some of that. Like he was just like famous around here.
I thought it was kind of funny. The whole fact that because he was all stitched together, I don't know what you imagined him to look like.
Okay, I don't want to.
Okay, but he had to.
A floating head.
It's funny because I feel like when Rosier made him, he made him just like a blank sim character. You know what I mean? And Rosier's like, or no, Asmodeus is like, hey, I appreciate it, but why don't I have a, why don't I have a, you know, the thing in the front? And then even Rosier is like, oh, do you want one? Do you want like a penis? And he's just like, well, I mean, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, you brought it up.
Maybe one of the biggest animal. I don't know. Because I don't. Okay.
I don't want to think about this.
Okay, but I just thought it was funny because that's how much he wanted it. You know what I mean? To like, if you didn't have one, I don't know. It matters so much to have sex for him, though.
It was interesting, though, because just moving forward, he explained to, because Rosier kind of like held it in, right? He didn't want to tell him that he was upset about the fact that he would sleep around because they weren't really together, but kind of together. And then when eventually Asmodeus kind of figures out that he's upset, he's just like, oh, well, I mean, it's because like this helps my pain.
Yeah.
I just have to mess around and just forget a little bit. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Because now you bringing that up, it makes me wonder, like, did you know that it was gonna help you with your pain, or or what?
It just feels like someone who's gaslighting someone.
I know.
That's what it feels like. And I was so team Rosier like the whole time. I was like, whatever my bitch can do to be happy, I hope it's not with Asmodeus, because I can't fucking stand this bitch. And it's funny because Lucifer, who is fucking Satan, is like, leave him.
Yeah.
Leave him.
And it feels like even Lucifer tried to give him a purpose, like a different purpose, because he was like, hey, you used to be the angel of fruits. Come help these flowers grow and maybe they'll give us fruits. And at first, Rosier is hesitant because he's like, well, I'm not like a creator. How could I create things?
But it was I thought Lucifer and Rosier's friendship was very sweet.
Yeah.
Because Lucifer also made Rosier a duke. And that means that he has to come up with punishments for demons who are out of line.
Which is so unlike him. He was just like, I don't want to do that. But Lucifer thought that he deserved the title because he was the one who, I guess, nursed him while he was coming back to life.
But Lucifer also just wanted him there because they're friends. And he was like, I can't show favoritism. So you have to do something.
I can't show favoritism, but I did give you the biggest room.
But you're my bestie. Please, it's just for you, and maybe put that head outside. I don't know. I don't know. But Lucifer is very much like, he hurt you. Like because of the way you're acting, it seems like the only way you're gonna learn how to move on is if you have heartbreak. Because fucking Rosier wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything. It made me so bad. Those moments where Rosier would go looking for Asmodeus and he'd see him fucking. Dude,
I don't know how you imagined it, but I imagined that he was peeking into a door and it was a big ass room and there was just a whole bunch of demons just fucking.
Dude. And I imagine fucking Asmodeus huge. Yeah. Like there are people just fucking every part of this beast. Yeah. So I'm just like, imagine Rosier's like, oh, why are they there? Like, what are they doing?
Why are they moaning so much?
But he was learning. Dude, he was observing. Like, okay. Because there were parts where he would, like, watch, but he wasn't watching any of the others. He was just watching Asmodeus.
Yeah. But then, let's skip forward a little bit. Eventually, when they do have a discussion, they decide to actually have, like, a physical relationship. How did you feel in this moment?
Well, it sucked because this happened after they had a festival where they recreated that day that they first figured out what sin was, and everyone just started fucking, and Rosier left, and there was someone that went up to him and was like, hey, you're acting all high and mighty, you just need to get R-worded basically to get that out of you, which was disgusting.
I forgot about that.
And when he leaves, it's funny that it's not immediate. It's like 10 minutes later, Asmodeus sweaty as fuck. He's like, hey, I rushed over here.
Oh, yeah. I sprinted on all fours over here.
Yeah, I only fucked like 8 people. You should be proud of me.
Babe, you don't understand. I fuck everyone most nights.
Yeah, and only 8? For you, anything. So then that's when Asmodeus is like, no, I think Rosier is like, but would you, to me, like, is that what you want? And it's funny because even though Asmodeus is saying, like, we don't have to if you don't want to, you can tell he was already.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, you're trying to make it seem like, no, I still love you, but like over here taking off your clothes.
I know. So like when it actually happened, it was just sad because I don't feel like Rosier knew how to feel, but there was a line that said that his favorite part was the end. Yeah. Because then he could feel like he was filled with something, because most days he felt empty. And I'm just like, that's so fucking sad.
That is really sad.
That's so sad.
I felt so bad for Rosier. And then eventually he got to a point where he was like, hey, I don't actually like this. I don't enjoy it.
I actually really like that chapter because it starts with him leaving in the morning and he goes to Lucifer and he's just like, I can't stand being in my room. I can't stand fucking looking at him. And Lucifer's like, leave him. And it was just like, well, how do you leave someone you love? Like, to fall? Because that's what Lucifer kept saying, like, you haven't fallen yet. You're still a fallen angel. You have to fall to become a demon. And then the way that Rosier took that was to fall means to either fall in love or fall out of love. But he was like, but you don't understand. It's not that I'm heaven Rosier or demon Rosier. I'm just Rosier. And to me, I just love too much and I can't let him go. Mm-hmm. And Lucifer tried really hard to get his mind off of it. And was he trying to like make a move?
I wasn't sure.
That just felt like he was willing to for a friend.
Yeah, like just to kind of distract him a little bit. Because it didn't feel like Lucifer really had any romantic feelings for anybody.
Yep.
Even when he was messing around with Ball, it kind of just felt like meh.
You know that chapter where Ball was like, "Oh my god, yeah, I had sex for the first time with Lucifer. It was really cool. He did call me Michael the whole time, but it's good. It's good.
I actually don't care.
That's actually my nickname. He calls me.
He's like, from here on out, my name's Michael.
Michael, Archangel Michael. I know you think it's the other Michael, but it's actually me. He's just like so in denial. So I'm just like, fuck. Poor Ball.
Move on. Another one that needs to move on.
I feel like Lucifer really cares for Rosier, and it feels like he's the only one that really cares. So then when Rosier goes back to his room, Asmodeus is like, "Where were you? Why weren't you here? Where were you?" And when he finally tells him, like, "I don't like fucking, and I don't like you, by the way. Like, I feel like I've never liked you, and I there's a part of me that really hates you, but also a part of me that really loves you." And then Asmodeus immediately is like, we don't ever have to do that again. We don't. I don't even want it. But then the fucking next party they have, doesn't Asmodeus get like touchy? They like go to the forest after he's fucked like 7 people. They go to the forest and he's touching him and he's like, "Is this okay? Is this okay that I do that?"
And then how did Rosier react?
Rosier was just kind of like, "I'm okay for once, but I don't want penetration. I just want..."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that he just wanted to make him happy? Like, just kind of like,
I think so.
Fine, if you really want this. That's so sad.
It is really sad because Rosier doesn't enjoy anything ever anymore.
I know.
He was the happiest angel, dude.
Justice for Rosier.
For real. When he would bring up his memories of Azazel, I'm like, bitch, you'd be so much happier if you were with Azazel. Book 2. Like, it would have been so much better.
If only.
If only. I'm so interested to see book 3 now because I feel like Rosier is going to be a little more unhinged.
You think so?
I think so. He received his horns. We didn't talk about that.
Oh yeah. So the whole like him not wanting to have horns. I don't know. It felt really sad to me how much the rest of the demons made him feel kind of weird. Like, "Oh, you don't have your horns? That's weird. You look like an angel. Weird."
Yep.
And even Lucifer, which I thought was kind of unexpected, because wasn't there a line in the beginning when Lucifer was like, "Oh no, I would never make anyone change their bodies or appearance if they don't want to." But then eventually, after enough time passed, Lucifer was kind of like, "You're not gonna have any horns? Really?"
So when he finally does get horns, that's when Asmodeus gets super turned on, and that's when they mess around.
Yeah.
But they basically decide that they're not gonna have penetrative sex. They could just fool around. That's so... No one cares about Rosier except for me. That's what it feels like in this goddamn town. It's always just been me and him.
What point in the book got to you emotionally?
I'm looking for it. I think it was after the party, the first party, when Asmodeus comes back. And they're both already cuddling, and I think they're kissing. And Rosier says, "We're not in heaven anymore." They had fallen, and they had new words lodged in their throat for what they wanted and who they were. But a harsh breath escaped from Asmodeus. "It's easy to forget when I'm with you. Within Rosier's chest, his lungs stuttered. You've never stopped being an angel to me. And I just thought that was so sad because I feel like Asmodeus thinks he loves him. You know what I mean? But he doesn't see how much he's like fucking him up.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Rosier. Oh my god.
I do too.
Rafael Nicolas does such a good job at making these moments so fucking sad.
I know.
I'm so sad.
And it's so sad too because even if Rosier left, which is what at the beginning of the story, I was like, I hope he fucking does that. I hope that in book 3, he's like, fuck these bitches. I'm not a demon. I'm not an angel. I'm me. I wanted him to leave. But there's a point where he says, when I imagine leaving this place, I don't see anything. That's the same way I felt about heaven. Like, he just doesn't see anything. There are places that I feel like I belong to, even if they are no good for me. And he fears that that's what Asmodeus was to him too. Just like something he can never leave. And that sucks because he's so good, but he doesn't feel good. I thought it was really interesting that at the end of the book, before we reach like the last, because the way that this book is written, there's several memories of heaven between Asmodeus and Rosier, which I don't want to talk about all of them, but there's one section where after Rosier has sex, he's able to bear fruit again, which is weird.
Yeah.
I didn't see the connection with that.
I think he probably felt happy that he made Asmodeus happy. And so that kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say like inspired him, but maybe fulfilled him for that little bit of moment.
Okay,
that was
maybe
how I took it, but I'm not sure.
But after years and years have passed, there are like orchards of plants and fruits and vegetables, and everything is looking really, really nice. And there was this really short chapter where Lucifer is picking fruit, and he has this moment where he just kind of stops and he's like, God once told me that Eden would come down to earth, and here it is now. And he, screaming and howling, the sound of all the fruits and the animals rushed the devil from every direction. And he raised his hands and fisted them into the air, into the hair his glorious father had weaved for him. The loving God whose hand was inside him, strumming the chords of the instrument that Lucifer had always been. And the devil laughed and laughed. He doubled over and laughed so hard that it hurt. Here is free will. Here it is in truth. Satan, the rebel, always doing what God had wanted in the end. And it just kind of seems like it's just like a loop.
Yeah.
Like it's never going to get better. So.
Yeah, I had that feeling too when I got to that part. I was like, well, it kind of just seems like,
you can never really
what's
escape.
the fucking point?
Yeah. I think the book ends with one last memory. And it's just Asmodeus and Rosier saying, I love you to each other for the first time in heaven.
Yeah.
And it's just so like,
but it was like a friend, like friend, like you're my brother, because that's how they would see each other in heaven. And Asmodeus was like, no, I really love you. It's like, yeah, I feel the same way, brother.
Yep.
So
sad.
I know.
This was such a short read, but so fucking dense. It took me forever to get through this because I only had 50 pages left this morning. And I was like, oh, I could finish that in an hour. Dude.
It took you a long time.
I started reading at 8 in the morning. And I was just kind of like, please, please, I just wanted to finish. I feel so sad, but I feel like out of all the characters in all of the books, I hope Rosier, my boys Sammy and Azazel, I hope all 3 of them have a good ending. If everyone else doesn't, fuck them. I don't fucking care anymore. It's just those 3 I care about deeply.
I don't expect them to, though.
I want them to.
I want them to have a happy ending too, but I don't see that.
Well, after seeing this, because now I feel like we know about all of the main characters. And we know the third book is going to take place in modern times. I think it takes place in like cowboy times. That's what I'm assuming. What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. I'm just going to be more sad for whatever reason.
I just feel like some characters are just going to be hella fucked over. And I hope Azazel and Rosier specifically aren't one of them. Like, I want them to live forever.
Yeah. For me, Azazel's number 1.
You think so?
Rosier, number 2. But this book did make me really sad for Rosier.
I know that the author had said that he doesn't want people to think that this relationship is healthy.
Don't worry, I didn't. This was
I feel like there are
toxic relationship.
I feel like there are people out there, though.
Who romanticize it?
I hope not.
The whole time I was like, I don't understand why Rosier even likes him. He's a loser. And he has an animal body. Ew.
It was kind of
disgusting.
It was that part where he told Asmodeus had told Rosier, like, I need to like prep you for sex, but I don't want to use these. And he holds up like his fucking feathers. And I'm like, ew, keep that shit away from me.
Get away from him.
Dude, I wanted Rosier to have such a fucking drama moment. I wanted him to
have his telenovela moment.
Be in that lunchroom.
Bust into the orgy room and be like, get off of him.
But another moment, I just wanted him to have a sleigh, like have his horns, show up to the festival and be like, what of it, bitch? Like my name's Rosier. Shut the fuck up.
Have his when the character takes off their glasses moment.
Dude, yes. And then I wanted fucking Asmodeus at his feet and he's like, no, fuck you. Where's Gemery? Whatever his name was.
Where's Lucy? Let's go.
But I kind of appreciate that that's something that Rosier never wanted. You know?
He was not interested at all in that.
Good for him.
But also, like, Asmodeus, he's not that great. So.
I don't think Asmodeus is going to last. I don't think so.
Oh, I hope.
His days are numbered, I think. As soon as he can't stitch another hand, he's gone.
He's gone. I thought it was so gross how he always had to clean his wounds. I can't. No, I can't.
I loved this short story. I don't even have to say anything else about it. I think that everyone should go read these books. It's crazy that these are his first. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5. It
will be book of the year.
I was gonna say I don't think it will be contender for book of the year, only because it's not a full book.
Oh, well,
but if it could be,
stay tuned for that because
for next year when I'm like, hey guys,
for the end of the year,
yeah, it might be book of the year for June. Imagine,
not book of the halfway point.
I am just so happy to read anything that this author gives us. I feel like it's him just throwing crumbs and I'm like, that's me. That's me.
You're like that video. Did you ever see that video where the mom was like, sometimes I like to pretend like my baby's a chicken. She throws like, it looks like popcorn. Obviously it's not popcorn because it's a baby, but like little pieces of food on the carpet and the baby
Oh yeah.
It's just like eating them like a little
That's
chicken.
me with this book. That is me. I'm eating up anything that this author puts out. I'm so excited for the third book.
I'm excited too. It's gonna be the end, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Oh god, I'm scared.
Bury me with these books. I love these books so much.
Okay, well we're not doing our tier list. Well, I really enjoyed the book too. I would give it a 4.
Okay. Why do you think not a 5?
The writing is amazing. I do really like the writing, and I did really care for Rosier. But for me, I think I'm just feeling a little exhausted of the sadness.
I get it. You want to feel again.
I want to feel a little bit of joy. But I'm not expecting it for book 3. So
no.
And also this, even though it was short, it was dense.
He did say that one of the couples from one of the books is going to make it. at the end.
Well, it's not going to be Lucy
It
and
better
Michael.
be fucking Sammy. I'm cheering for him so much. I love
But
that
it better not be that bitch Asmodeus.
I know, dude. Fuck Asmodeus. Oh, fuck. I hope that it's so modern that he has to work a retail job.
Oh my God.
Shout out to everyone who works retail. That shit's so hard. I want Asmodeus to have the worst time in his life. I want him to work retail. I want him to be in charge of, when they give you the money to put in the register. I hope he loses that shit.
Oh my God. You're so evil.
I know. I'm sorry. I guess I have to pray tonight. I'm joking. Okay, so why don't we first, to anyone who's watching us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can please leave a rating of 5 stars and a review recommending us our next read, that would be amazing. If you want to support us and you have a little bit of extra money, what can they do?
So we do have a Patreon, and it really just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you enjoy our content, you appreciate how much we post. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, then you can find us on buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix or coffee, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you want to support us on social media, if you can please follow us on Fable, Goodreads, Threads, or Instagram at The Book Fix Pod, and TikTok at The Book Fix. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Dude, I love this book so much. I feel like I have to make a playlist.
Dude, have you made a playlist for every book?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But I put them, I get very like, I'll make a playlist, I'll hyperfixate on the playlist, and then I put it in hiding. Like I make it private. Because I get very like, oh, it's not good enough anymore.
Did anyone look for your playlist?
I think so.
Remember the first time we talked about Angels Before Man, you had said you made a playlist, I think.
All I know is that playlist, the Angels Before Man one, has the most people.
Wow, let me see.
Follow. It's not a lot.
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot. Don't be modest.
Angels Before Man. Well, like I said, I hid it.
Oh, you hid it.
I'll show it to you when I find it.
Stopped it from popping up.
That's what I do, though. I hide them when I'm ashamed.
Damn it.
I wonder how my second one is doing. This is my Angels and Man one. It only has 2 saves, me and Jesus.
I don't think Jesus would be a fan.
Jesus, shout out. Oh, you're right. I don't think he would be.
Never mind.